But recently I have come to realize that my silence regarding this issue has only widened the divide, not closed it. It's quite the opposite of her interview with GQ last month.
I think that when I have an issue that I want to speak about, people will hear.
Sydney Sweeney is trying to change her image, and I think this is what happens when you have bomb after bomb after bomb at the box office like she has had this year. You know, it was pretty much exactly a month ago on this channel when we started talking about her GQ interview, where she basically doubled down on her jeans ad earlier this year that was really controversial because it was a play on words from the clothes you wear, jeans with the J, to jeans with the G, and people took her good jeans ad as a possibility of it being white supremacy in a culture right now that is a very hot topic. This is why when celebrities take certain gigs and just want to do it for money, they should probably think about the long-term reactions. And clearly, either Sydney didn't think about that, or she did and she was okay with it.
Were you surprised by the reaction?
I did a jean ad.
The president tweeted about the jeans ad, or Truth Socialed about the jeans ad, and that just seems to me like a very crazy moment for anyone, and I wondered what that was like.
It was surreal.
It was surreal.
Mm-hmm.
Addressed that in a not so negative light, which only adds to the political climate and the political nature of her interviews. Well, also in last month's interview, she talked about how when she has a problem that she wants to talk about, she will talk about said problem, but she has switched up a month later. She is now saying the opposite things in interviews and finally wanting to address that jeans ad after trying to ignore it for months and months and months, like a typical celebrity who wants to avoid the conflicts and the problems and look innocent in everything. But that wasn't working for Sydney. She specifically did an interview with People magazine, which stated in that interview, she said, "I did it because I love the jeans and love the brand. I don't support the views some people chose to connect to the campaign. Many have assigned motives and labels to me that just aren't true." So after 6-7 months, she is now finally saying something about this, and she's trying to say, everything that people were saying about me wasn't true, even though it took me 6 or 7 months to actually address said issue. She went on in the interview to say that she leads with kindness and said, "Anyone who knows me knows that I'm always trying to bring people together. I'm against hate and divisiveness. In the past, my stance has been to never respond to negative or positive press. But recently, I have come to realize that my silence regarding this issue has only widened the divide, not closed it." She said, "So I hope this new year brings more focus on what connects us instead of what divides us." So she's really trying to take a stance that she wants to be unity for the people. It's quite the opposite of what she did with the campaign earlier this year. But more specifically to me, it's quite the opposite of her interview with GQ last month, where she clearly said that if there's an issue that she wants to talk about, she'll talk about. And that clearly meant that this was not an issue that she wants to talk about.
The criticism of the content, which was basically that maybe specifically in this political climate, like white people shouldn't joke about genetic superiority. Like that was kind of like the criticism, broadly speaking. And since you are talking about this, I just wanted to give you an opportunity to talk about that specifically.
I think that when I have an issue that I want to speak about, people will hear.
But here she is now in interviews a month later with a completely different tune. And why is that? It's because she really needs way better PR. I am all for people being able to grow, people being able to be forgiven when those people are genuine. And this is not genuine whatsoever. Her movies have been bombing horrifically, one of which was one of the worst premiere weeks in box office history. And she has a new movie on the way towards the end of December called something or another. And I think that this is all about that. She is trying to change her image because I don't think in Hollywood she can have another huge bomb attached to her name. What I am getting from these new interviews with Sydney is that she's hoping to rehabilitate her image so that she doesn't shun half, if not more than half, of her audience that would come and watch these movies that are more sophisticated than the fan base she has played herself up to, that just wants to look at her and maybe stare at her boobies. I don't know. I feel like that's her only fan base left at this point. And she's not going to be young forever. And as society becomes more and more shallow, in my opinion, if her career in acting is actually going to be sustainable in a good way, she does have to take on more roles that are far, I guess, more involved and more well-rounded than, I guess, what her current fan base would want her to be. So to me, this whole new change in PR move is to say, please forgive me. I don't want to be stuck in low-budget horror films later in my career. And I do think Sydney is finally thinking about the long-term implications for her career. But the question is it too little too late? We do live in a society right now where, because of social media, it's easy to tear a person down. It's easy to not want to forgive someone. But I think it would be more helpful if the someone in trouble with the public image would actually be genuine when she does something. This is just a complete turnaround from a month ago, which is why I don't see this as genuine whatsoever. I see it as a last-ditch effort PR move that is where she and her team, her PR team, are hoping her public image can be restored. What I like to talk about on this channel is the celebrities that do stupid things, because as a celebrity, I don't understand why you would want to piss off half of your audience in ways like this. You know, we live in a hard time where it's almost impossible to not get political. But I do think celebrities can either need to walk a fine line, or they need to embrace one side or another. I think Sydney tried to do that undercover, though, and I don't think that was working. And if you embrace one side, there's only one road you could take, and that's like grifting. So we will see if this PR move works. We will see how she goes from here. I think more importantly, we will see if she has yet another bomb at the box office come a couple weeks from now. She's literally had 3 movies in a row do completely horrible at the box office. This movie is a little more big. I think there's a little more promotion. There's a little better chance that it's not a complete bomb. But I do think probably her PR and PR from the movie definitely wanted to try and move things in a better direction for the movie to have a better chance of not bombing. So we will see. Just a month ago, she said that if she actually had an issue she wants to talk about, she would talk about it, which implied this was not an issue she wants to talk about. But suddenly a month later, after her biggest bomb yet, she does want to talk about the issue for the first time this year. Very, very interesting. Very, very not genuine.